Upgrading your gear in MoP Remix can be really important if you want to feel like an absolute god. I mean, god like strength. However, it's not important at all if you just want to get your mounts, toys, transmogs, etc. You can just level up characters, get all your bronze, no big deal. However, if you would like to have that immense strength, or maybe you're trying to get your Claw of Eternus title, or Paragon of the Mist title from clearing Mythic Siege of Orgrimmar, Claw of Eternus being from clearing all heroics, then you may need to upgrade your gear, because a lot of those mechanics in those raids are very highly tuned, and most things will just hit for about 1,000,000 damage. So, let's break down how to collect some of this gear, what the difference is in the qualities like common, rare, and epic, and also which pieces you should prioritize in upgrading for your bronze, because there is actually a prioritization. So let's first talk about the quality of gear. We have common quality, or green. Here is a belt. It has armor, and then your stat proc. So on belts, it's like versatility, mastery, haste, speed, even as another option. You get that, and then you have your tinkering slots. That's a default item that you get. Then when it goes to rare quality, or blue, you get an added bonus of your primary stat. So now we have intellect on this, and it procced speed, unfortunately. Then when it goes to epic quality, you get a secondary stat. Kind of funky. Yeah. And the other fun thing about this, actually, is that this secondary proc, in this case it was a tertiary stat, can actually be the exact same stat as the secondary that's already on that item. So I have gloves that were epic and procced additional crits, so it actually only showed as one item right there. It just showed an extra 100 critical strike on that item. So obviously you want an epic quality one, but when you break it down at the end of the day, you're only missing out on a little bit of extra stat. That's it. So if you invest your time in upgrading a blue piece of gear, it's totally fine. And the reason why it's important to say that it's fine is because if you do happen to land, like let's say you upgrade this all the way to like 400 item level, if you end up getting an epic belt later, it has a reduced cost to upgrade that item in bronze. So you don't have to dedicate the exact same amount of bronze you already spent for that item slot. It's very important to note that. So you can go ahead and start upgrading your gear, even at common quality if you would like to. The best investment is wait at least for a rare, and then when you do get that epic drop, you can spend your bronze to upgrade that item, so that way it's the same item level of the one you previously had equipped. With the randomization of your secondary stats, you can't finely tune or fine point like where to grind certain items, so you just kind of have to guess. And then also, what quality of dungeon content or raid content you do does actually directly tell like what you get here, with some chance to it. When you're clearing these raids on LFR and normal, you will have a chance of getting common and rare loot, and with a slim chance, and I mean very slim chance, of getting epic quality loot. When you're doing heroic difficulty, the chance of getting epic loot seems to be greatly increased, with some diminishing returns. It seems like when I was personally doing heroic raids, I would have the first couple bosses would drop some epics, I would get double epics, and then some bosses, by like the third or fourth boss in, I would start getting rare quality again. I'm not sure if there's like a catch-up mechanic in that atmosphere for it, or if it's just entirely RNG. But you can see after killing this boss, I got an epic and a rare. The couple bosses prior, double epics. So it do have a higher chance of getting those epic items from doing a heroic raid. But you also need to make sure you have, I would say, roughly around a 400 item level to do that content, because most of the content will just one-tap you with million damage. Highly suggest having 1.5 million health before going into a heroic raid. One very specific thing when it comes to weapons that upgrade to an epic quality, that's when you actually get your first secondary stat on that item. So you can see here's my 472 main head weapon, it has 266 mastery, and my offhand has 133 crit. For some reason, mastery you get way more than any other stat when it comes specifically to weapons. And as proof for that, for a staff, which would have combo of this secondary stat with the main hand that I have, this staff has 269 mastery on it. So if you end up getting a two-hander and you want the secondary stat, probably you want mastery because you get way more out of that. Over time, as you can see with my stats over there in the bottom, it's not really going to matter. But while you're hunting for certain gear, if your class really likes mastery, try to prioritize having a mastery weapon. The next key thing in upgrading your gear is which piece of equipment you upgrade first. So in total, before you can get to the next tier, you do have to upgrade every single item to the one tier above, then you can progress past that. You can't spend all your bronze on just a weapon and get it all the way to 556. You have to slowly work yourself around the gear and upgrading all of it to get to that point. Now, most people will think, hey, here's a helm. I'm going to upgrade my helm first because that's a primary slot. You would think that would make sense. However, Though these stats on your helm do get upgraded, your meta gem does not. Meta gems don't scale really well with upgrade of equipment. I believe there's an excuse for that for, I think it's Funeral Pyre, which gives you primary stat, but that's pretty much it. I know I use Tireless Spirit as a Shadow Priest. This does not scale up with my item level. However, if you choose to upgrade your items that have a Tinkerer socket in it, like your shoulders, bracers, gloves, and belt, that will actually give you a boost in your damage, healing throughput, survivability as a tank. Because you can see right there that I get an 81,000 more absorb shield from upgrading this. I would say to prioritize your tinkering socket items first, because that way you're getting the most bang for your buck from upgrading your bronze. The last items you would want to upgrade would be your helm and your boots, because your boots have a cogwheel socket. Again, those cogwheel sockets don't scale up with your character power as you item level upgrade that. The other thing is that your chest and your legs have a very, very good potency to it. So that you could choose between doing those slots first or your tinkering sockets, because you get your gems to upgrade with it as well. So you can see my haste is, I believe, the primary stat that I had on these initially, or it might be like one additional socket. Nope, primary stat I had initially. And then my mastery goes up by 438, because those are all my gems that I have in that equipment. And you have a huge stamina increase, 6,000 extra stamina from upgrading this. The other thing would be your weapon. This is where you get a lot of juice from your primary stat, because you don't have a lot of primary stat on your equipment or coming from any gems. So this is a huge juice to your damage by upgrading your weapon, or offhand. You can count weapons offhand, you know what I mean. So you do still have to upgrade everything over time, like to upgrade past the next level, past 472 for me. I do have to upgrade my helm. I'll do it now, sure. There you go. Now I can upgrade my equipment when I have enough bronze, and I'll go through all my tinkering sockets first, and then my legs, my chest, and weapon. So if you do want to care about like slowly progressing your character and get it more powerful, make sure to prioritize the right slots first. There you go. There's your quick crash course on upgrading gear in Miss Minari Remix. Hopefully this helped teach you something. Maybe it helped guide you along the way for if you choose to go on the adventure of becoming a god in this temporary game mode. Cannot stress that enough. It is a temporary game mode. You don't have to worry about getting all that juice unless you just want to actually get those titles like Claw of Eternus or Paragon of the Mists, or you just want to be able to one-shot bosses for the sake of it, because it's kind of fun. Thank you all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, make sure to pop in on stream sometime. I'll be live tonight. I'm live 6 nights a week. Feel free to come hang out. And also, obviously, there's all those other things like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You can join the Discord server. Somebody made a comment in the last video that I didn't have a Discord link. That should be fixed. It should be down there, unless past will, which is currently present will, doesn't do that. I did it right. Feel free to check. Yell at me in the comments. Totally fine. Cheers, and have a legendary day.